Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing part two of an amazing interview with the authors from the Feed the Young Anthology, and all the proceeds go to the SPCA. So today I'm going to go ahead and introduce the rest of the authors. First, I have Cyan LeBlanc from Undertaker Books. Cyan, welcome to the Horror Room.
Oh, thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
Absolute pleasure. And next, I have Angelique Jordana. Angelique, welcome to the Horror Room.
Hey, Bear.
And then finally, I have Twisted Tracy, Nud. Tracy, welcome to the Horror Room.
Thank you so much for having me. We really appreciate it, and having all of us, actually.
Yes. And by the way, we're going to be having Alicia McAdoo in shortly. So she's also a part of the team. So Tracy,
yes.
This is your book, I understand. So tell us a little bit about Feed the Young.
Okay, well, I do need to make a small correction. It's actually the proceeds are going to the Humane Society International.
Humane Society?
Yeah, Humane Society. Basically, this is the cover, the proof copy of the book.
Love it.
There's everybody's names. And it all came together as a group idea, really. Bruce Anna is the one that did the cover, and she posted it in one of her chats. And a bunch of us were like, oh, that'd make a great anthology. And we all just kind of got together and made it an anthology. So it was really fun. Most of the stories are between 5 to 7K words, so they're super short. We kept it that way on purpose because I didn't want the book to be huge and intimidating to some people. So as you can see, it's not that big, not that thick, but it's got some really great stories. We've got, I think, 9 authors. Excuse me, including Alicia, who will hopefully be able to join us soon. Her and Angelique actually wrote a story together, and then the rest of us wrote our own stories.
Nice. And I understand that the stories pertain to animals. So each author picked a different animal for their story.
Pretty much. My story is I did a lab, like a science lab, and some others did like maggots, or I think there was one that alien invasion. Basically, what it is different animals of different species come together and feed off the humans and bring that food to their young to keep their young alive.
And that's an interesting concept.
It's like reverse cannibalism.
Yes. So Tracy, you touched on your story a little bit, but tell us a little bit more about your story, your particular story.
Oh gosh. My main character it's a secret science or secret government lab, so nobody knows about this place. There's no formal education, it's all hands-on training. So my main character is trying to become a doctor within the lab. And she creates a serum that is supposed to make humans superhuman. And she goes to test it on the animals, and all heck breaks loose.
Wow. So what gave you inspiration for that story? Were you thinking about, all the unfair treatment that animals have done when it comes to being guinea pigs, quote unquote?
That's exactly it.
Yeah, and humans are getting their fair shake of it now.
Exactly.
Now, how long did it take you to come up with the idea of the story?
Oh, it came to me pretty quickly, actually. I'd say within a couple of days of us talking about doing it.
Yeah, you were setting things back and forth in the chat, and you were just like, "Oh my god, this and this and this." We're like, "Yeah."
See, that's the thing with me. Ideas just are everywhere. Everywhere I look, there's an idea. There's an idea. There's an idea. There's an idea, and I can't. I don't have the time to sit down and put them all on paper.
Now, and this is a question for everyone. Was it now, Angelique? I know that you actually you and Alicia actually work together, but was it nice to be able to work with other authors and kind of like bounce, necessarily bounce ideas off of each other, but kind of see what direction they're going in?
I enjoy co-writing with people, so it just throws a different spin on everything. So we really didn't have a total plan when we were writing. We would just go back and forth. Like I'd write a couple paragraphs and then she'd write a few. So we never knew where it was going until we started reading the other's part. And then we were like, oh shit, we have to change where we were going. And
Now, was there any point you're looking at Alicia's work and like, holy shit, she's going down a dark path?
she always goes down a dark path.
Okay.
So I just had to follow suit when she took control.
Now, did you see an ending in mind, or did you two collaborate what the ending was going to be, or did you work towards that point?
There was no plan at all, I don't think. Like I said, we just went back and forth until it was there. So we
Y'all
surprised
like me
each
to
other.
go off the seat of your pants.
Yeah, I'm a total pantser. When I try to actually plan something out, then it'll just sit and I won't ever finish it.
Yep.
So I just have to kind of go with the flow and hope for the best.
That's awesome. Now, Sayan, did you at any point try to bounce ideas off of any other of the other authors, or did you kind of listen to see what direction they were going in?
No, I mean, I paid attention. I mean, and you know, but mine was set from the beginning. You know, when we talk about, you know, killer animals, you know, if in the thing, I guess in the blurb that it says, you know, killer felines, that's me. You know, it's, you know, and I just knew that when I was going to deal with with animals, it was going to be cats, because in my house, we always think, you know, because we have two of them, it's like, oh my God, they're going to kill me in my sleep, you know, because that's what cats do. I mean, they look at you and they're like, you don't know what they're thinking. And you're like, oh my God, they're going to kill me in my sleep. And that, you know, and that's literally the whole, the concept of, you know, of being able to write animals and stuff like that. You just kind of just, you know, think about what they're thinking, you know, and then go, you know, they probably think that we're complete idiots. You know, animals probably think humans are so stupid. And it's, and apparently my humans were.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, we're kind of like their servants.
We are.
Yeah, when they want something, we do it. We clean up behind them
you
and
should
everything.
hear my cats. They scream at me all the time.
So, Cyan, tell us a little bit about your story. A little bit more about your story.
So essentially, it kind of started out that there's an island in Mexico City that is if you ever look it up, it's the island of the dolls in Xochimilco. And they basically have all these doll heads hanging from the the trees and all that stuff. It's a real place. And it kind of just gave me the idea is, what if there were cat islands? And instead of doll islands, there was cat islands in Mexico. So basically, my story is some stupid tourists follow the signs to, oh, there's cats over there. There's cats over there. And, you know, they basically get, attacked by the cats. And they just pick off one by one. And so my story is called, I think, Cats 5, Humans 0, because nobody comes out alive. And, so that's kind of pretty much my story.
Now, did you know about Doll Island before you wrote the story, or is that something that you did recently?
No, that actually exists. Oh, okay. So it's actually a place in Mexico City. It's a tourist place. But I went there, and you like literally have to take the boats to this island, and it's creepy as hell. You really should look it up. And but it just kind of gave me that idea of having these kind of like tourists. Oh my God, there's a cat island, and people go to see it, and they don't come back. It's kind of like going into like, there's like, when we went on cruises, there were like, aviaries, where you go into the bird pens and stuff like that. And, those are all my fears. Animals are my fears. And so birds, dogs, everything. Yeah. I'm afraid of animals.
Because like you said, you don't know what the fuck they're thinking about.
Exactly.
Angelique, I'm going to shoot back down to you. Now, you, like I said, you and Alicia, you collaborate on your story. Now, tell us a little bit about your story.
Our story kind of centers around some hunters that are out on a deer hunt, and the buck seems to get the best of them one by one. And they use some other animals to actually they use the skin of the humans, and the other animals get to feed on what's left. So, but it ends up where they try and take over the world to stop the hunters from coming after them.
Sounds reminds me of Pinky and the Brain.
Yes.
I was going more like, Planet of the Apes shit.
Planet
Apes. Yeah, that too, yeah.
Now, that is an interesting concept because, hunters kill defensive deers.
Yeah.
What if fucking deers decided, hey, we ain't taking this shit anymore?
Exactly. And so that's how I started out the story. And, there's the two hunters and they're in the tree, and I kind of left it where the one missed his shot. And then here comes Alicia with this murder.
Can everyone hear me?
Hey, Alicia.
Speaking of.
Hello?
Hello. We're actually talking about your story.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Lisa?
Yes.
Yes. Cheers.
I think she froze.
I can't hear anybody.
So, Angelique, how long did it take you and Alicia to compile this story?
Well, it took a while just because I've been working on like a ton of projects, so I was kind of trying to work it in between those projects. So I always tell everyone, if you want me to do a project, tell me it's due 2 weeks in advance.
And that's exactly what I did for our next one.
All right. So now I'm assuming everyone here is a avid horror fan. I'm assuming everyone grew up on horror. Now, real quick, I'm going to start off with Tracy. Tracy, what made you decide to be a horror writer?
Honestly, my past. I've got a really, really horrific past. I've had a lot of bad things happen to me throughout my life. And I thought, I've done everything. I've done therapy, I've done medication, I've done meditating, I've done everything to try to get past all that. and nothing worked. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and write it down. So my first book that I wrote is loosely based on events that I went through as a child. And it hurt a lot during the writing process, but once I got it out there, it was like a huge weight was just lifted off my shoulders. And it made me want to keep writing.
Now, do you ever look back at that piece of work and reflect?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Always.
All right, I'm going to shoot over to Cyan. Cyan, what got you started? What do you say made you be like, you know what? I'm a horror fan. I love reading horror. I'm going to become a writer.
So I started out writing. Actually, I started writing romance, and it literally got progressively darker. And at some point, I basically said, I really wanted to. I guess I felt like I was trying to push the boundaries of what I could do and what my readers would actually accept, because they're romance readers, but I wanted to push those boundaries as far as that I could push them out of their comfort zones. And so my first book that I wrote that was with regards to horror was basically a lesbian cannibal. And that, but there is the underlying romance into the story. So, it's kind of like it's just progressively just getting darker. I grew up on slasher films in the 80s, probably because I'm the oldest one here. And I grew up with that. I saw my first horror movie in 1979 at the drive-in movie. So, I've always grown up with it. And so I just kind of like that slasher, that, the eroticness of, that was in the 80s, where everybody's nude and everybody's doing it and they get slashed. And that's kind of what I grew up on. And that's kind of where I want to push my work to.
Have you noticed, Cyan, in recent horror, like it seems like the horror genre is trying to get away from that 80s theme, nudity, sex aspect?
Yeah, I mean they are, and but there's also a kick into right now with all of the extreme horror and the splatterpunk, and it's kind of like it's there. But it's now, it feels like that horror is kind of dividing in a way, that you have these extremists, and they're great at what they do. And then you have the people who are more gothic and and their horror is more subdued. So you kind of have this divide of what's going on. I feel in the horror industry, so you have that extreme and then you have that gentle horror, and so it's you just kind of find your people, and those people will love your book.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Alicia, I'm gonna shoot over to you. What got you into writing horror?
Well, I started out writing for a school project, and they said it was too dark for it, and so I ended up writing it the way they wanted to, but I enjoyed it to the point where I continued on with the story, and I just never looked back since. Plus, it's like free therapy, so,
Yeah. Now, is there, when it comes to your writing, do you ever think to yourself, okay, I hope I don't offend anyone. I hope this doesn't disturb anyone. Are there lines that you won't cross in your writing?
I mean, there are lines I won't cross, but as for offending somebody or disturbing somebody, I don't really give a shit, honestly. If they don't like it, they don't have to read my stuff. But there are certain things that I won't cross into, But other than that, yeah, I don't care.
And I'm going to shoot over to Angelique. Angelique, what got you started?
Well, I got into horror. I've been watching horror movies with my grandma since I was like 6 or 7, and we'd watch all the good ones, like Pieces, and I didn't have a restriction on what grandma and me watched. So that kind of started me into the horror genre. I didn't actually start writing horror like novel wise or book wise until my mid 30s, because when I was a teenager I was doing poetry, and I played music, so I was always writing like song lyrics and like flash fiction. So in my mid 30s my cousin was like, you should write a book, and I'm like, well, okay. So I wrote my first book, which was about a lesbian serial killer, and I call it horrormance because it has, the romance in it and some horror, bunch of psychological thriller. It just kind of started from there.
Love it. Now, this is a question for Alicia and Angelique. Since you two are co-authoring and writing together, Angelique, what's one thing about Alicia writing that you're like, boy, I envy her for, that? And Alicia, same thing for you.
She just shoots straight to the dark and demented stuff real quick.
I just like Angelique's style. Like, she keeps everything in flowing.
Well, that's a good combination. All right, so now we're going to shoot to the fun part of the interview. I'm gonna ask everyone. Since this is a horror channel, I'm gonna ask everybody. I'm gonna round table 3 random horror questions. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and Cyan, you're first. So this is a question I asked on the first interview. You guys have written many different horrible ways people have died. What do you think is the most fucked up way that you could personally die?
So I actually wrote in my book that the serial killer was essentially we can cuss, right? We can definitely cuss, right? Okay. So yeah.
Okay.
So the serial killer is fucking this woman, and the victim thinks that it's like a dildo, and it's actually a dildo switchblade. And so when she's going in, she hits the button and basically gets knife fucked to death.
Ow.
So that is pretty. Yeah, it's a switchblade vibrator kind of.
Wow. Jeez. Okay.
I got you a little speechless, right?
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah. That's. I can imagine as a woman that would be a fucking horrible way to die.
An experience to die for, that's for sure.
Tracy, your turn.
Oh, most horrible way to die. That's a tough one. I think it would have to do with animals, because I love animals so much that I would pet a crocodile if I could. So it'd probably be something along those lines, where I go to pet something that I shouldn't, and it eats me alive.
That would definitely do it.
Yeah.
Especially a crocodile, because I think they like making their victims suffer too.
Yep.
So,
Them and alligators do the death roll.
yes.
That's really cool to watch.
Yes. It's gonna break every bone in your body. That's fucking horrible.
Yep.
Alicia.
I think the worst way for someone to die in one of my stories was a woman got trapped in a cage, and she ended up with a broken leg, and she took a splinter out of her own leg and slit her throat with it.
Damn. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. pretty fucked up. That's pretty fucked up.
We're some brutal bitches over here.
I know. Angelique.
Oh. Well, see, I'm like the good one here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I don't believe that at all.
The first kill I ever did in my book was actually it just went right into it in the first chapter. Someone got skinned alive. So yeah, the main character has all these issues, and she basically filleted a person while they were alive, and then removed all the innards and stuff, and used the skin as a blanket to sleep in for the night.
Gotta stay warm.
Yeah. All right. You guys ready for the second question? This is a fucked up question. You ready? All right. You're a serial killer. Who is your target victim? Who are your target victims? Angelique, you go first.
Oh, well, my serial killer just took whoever was available.
I'm talking about you personally. You personally.
Me personally? I don't know. I've never actually, other than for writing purposes, I've never really thought about killing someone because I know it's something I would never do.
Okay.
I'd probably pick some of the bad people in the world, though. Murderers and stuff like that. I'd be like the Dexter of...
That's always the great way to go.
Yeah, I'd take out the people who deserved it at least.
And Sion?
Well, I feel like sometimes that I feel like I'm kind of like my main character in The Taste of Women. It's kind of like I want to seduce them first. So nice blonde, would be really nice right there on the bed, and then take care of that business first, then get rid of them.
So blondes.
Yeah, I have a thing for blondes. I'm sorry.
My wife says I have a thing for blondes too, but she's not blonde, and I'm like, well, I married someone that wasn't blonde.
Neither was my wife.
Alicia.
Oh, that's an easy one. That'd be my ex and his family. Just
The whole family? The whole family?
oh yeah, they're all guns, so they would all have to die.
Yeah, exes would be a good one. Exes would be a good one. Tracy?
I can't say because if I say, that's called premeditative.
Something happens. She does not want it on film.
Or it's about to happen.
I mean, I told you I had a bad past.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I run that risk of being premeditated anyway, because if anything should happen to them, I'd be the first one that they would question. For story purposes.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, it would be rapists and pedophiles. I feel like
There you go. I like that idea.
They have to go. They have to go. All right. Final question. What iconic horror villain do you feel like you relate to the most? Alicia, you go first.
Oh.
I'd have to say, like Beetlejuice.
Why Beetlejuice?
Because, I mean, he's just, trying to live his life and everything, and he ended up dying, and now he's trying to make the best of his situation, so. Yeah. Hi. Okay, say hi. Hello.
Hi.
Go eat. All right, go eat.
Tracy?
I'm gonna have to go with Freddy Krueger.
Why Freddy? I like
He's
that.
always been my favorite. He's always been my favorite, first of all. Second of all, I love him because he gets into your head.
Yes.
He dives in and he gets all your fears and everything that he can find, and then he uses those against you. I love the fact that he can just get into people's heads like that.
And I also love that he has a personality, which most horror villains.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Angelique,
Probably Leatherface.
why
'Cause
Leatherface?
that whole family was fucked up, and I just have a fucked up family, so kind of just.
So they would have you doing some fucked up shit with them?
Do what?
I said, so they would have you doing some fucked up shit with them.
Well, yeah. You know, the family that slays together.
Zion.
So actually, somebody asked me this recently, and we wound up putting on it a blog. But I basically said I would probably wind up being more like a gremlin. Don't feed me after dark. Don't
Oh,
get wet. You know, because I will go rabid on you if in the middle of the night when I get my second wind. So I'd be more of a gremlin.
Love the Gremlins.
One last question. This is a follow question. Whose significant other or partner would leave them if they found out that you were a serial killer, you think?
Mine wouldn't.
I don't think mine would either.
Mine'd be out there helping me. Not the body.
Angelique and Zion?
Mine would pretty much just say, "Don't bring your work home."
Other, I'd probably end up roping him into it, and then I'd be like, "Oh, are you going to take out the trash, or do I need to make a phone call?" Type of thing, you know.
Now, my wife would be like, "Okay, I watched all these forensic shows. You need to do this and this and this to not get caught."
Yeah.
I feel like if you can find a partner that will accept you, even if you're a serial killer, that's the right partner. I really do.
Yep. I agree.
All right. I'm going to start off with Zion. Where can everyone find you?
Work-wise, my personal website for my author work is posiesandpeacocks.com. It's where you can find my books. But we just started a indie press. So undertakerbooks.com is the next project. Sorry, cats.
No problem. Awesome. And Tracy?
I also just started an indie press. You can find me at twistedtales.com with Z, no S's, they're Z's. You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials. Well, not all the socials, but most of the socials.
Alicia?
You can find me on pretty much almost all the social platforms. I mostly hang out on Facebook or Instagram. But you can find my books on Godless and Apple Books and Google Play and Nook and Kobo and PubShare, and Kindle, and Amazon.
Awesome. And Angelique?
You can find me at angeliquejordana.com or angeliquejordanaauthor.com. I'm on all social media platforms. If you just type my name into Google, I will pop up in many different forms.
Awesome. Listen, gang, these two interviews have been absolutely amazing. It's a pleasure having everyone on. Listen, everybody who's watching, please support the Feed the Young Anthology. By the way, where can we find Feed the Young Anthology?
It is on Amazon. Pre-orders for the ebook are up right now. The physical copy will release on May the 12th, which is Mother's Day. We will have signed copies available. Just reach out to whichever author you want it signed by. and we'll get them to you. And some of them will be at cons. I think I think it's Donna that's going to Texas Author Con. She's going to have some there.
Nice.
And I'll be at TBR Con in Knoxville in September, and I'll probably have some with me there.
And I'll also be at TBR, and I'll be in Chicago at the Books and Brews in August. So
Okay. Anybody
They'll
going to be on the
definitely
East
be
Coast?
around.
Anybody
Well,
going to cons on the East Coast?
TBR Con's in Knoxville, Tennessee, so that's kind of East Coast.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
close.
All right. Listen. Yeah. Listen.
About as close
Everybody-
as we can get.
As close as you can. Yeah. Listen, everybody, please support this. By the way, everybody's websites are down in the description, so follow them as well. Everybody, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. By the way, hit that like and subscribe button. All right. I'm Travis Bruce. That's Sion LeBlanc. That's Tracy Nudd. Alicia McAdoo. Angelique Giordano. We'll see you next time. Take care.